Hello student, today's topic is interior of the earth. This chapter is about interior of the earth. When we say interior, we actually means the inside structure of the earth. The interior of the earth is basically being divided into three layers, that is the crust, mantle and the core. The crust is then again subdivided into two divisions, that is continental and the oceanic crust. The crust is actually the outer portion of the earth where we live and where our continents and the oceans are. Okay, and the average thickness of this layer is about 100 kilometer. Then the next layer is the mantle, which is being subdivided into three portions, that is the upper, transitional and the lower mantle. The upper mantle is the layer just below the crust, and the thickness of this layer is about 400 kilometer. Then lies the transitional zone, whose thickness is 670 kilometer. Next lies the lower mantle, whose thickness is about 2900 kilometer. Okay, below this lower mantle, the layer of the core is there. The core is being divided again into two divisions, that is the outer core, which is liquid in nature, and the inner core, which is solid in nature. Okay, so the thickness of the outer core is about 5150 kilometer, and the thickness of the inner core is about 6371 kilometer. So now let us see what are the various factors are there. The layers of the earth have different nature based on certain factors. So the number one factor is the temperature. The temperature condition of the earth's interior is not same all throughout the deep. It differs from layer to layer. Okay, you can see the layers are given over here. The temperature varies from the different layers. So I already said about the different types of the layer. So according to the research and the investigations of the modern scientists, it is said that the rate of the increase of the temperature is about 32 degrees Celsius per 100 kilometer. It means that after if we go down into the interior of the earth, after every 100 kilometer, the temperature increases about 32 degrees Celsius. Then the rate of the increase of the temperature is about 2 degrees Celsius per 300 kilometer, and after that the temperature increases at the rate of 1 degree Celsius per kilometer. Okay, so by calculating this, the temperature at the core is estimated to be 2900 degrees Celsius. In the temperature, it is said that the materials behave either like a liquid or the gaseous. The inner core, it is solid in nature because of the high density and the pressure, but the outer core is liquid in nature. The next factor is the density. The density of the interior of the earth differs with the increase in the depth. Means as we go down and down, the density differs between each layers. So according to the Newton's law of gravity, the earth's density is about 5.5 on a whole. However, the density condition increases with the depth. The sedimentary rock on the earth's surface has an average. Earth's surface means this crust portion has the average density of about 2.7. Beneath this layer of the sedimentary rock, means it is talking about this portion where the igneous and the metamorphic rocks have the average density of varying between 3.00 to 3.50. It goes on increasing with the depth. The core of the earth has an average density of about, so it is talking about this, the core of the earth has an average density of about 11 to 12, and it is higher at the extreme center. Means it is higher at the extreme inner core. It is about 13 to 14. Okay, the next factor is the pressure. Like the temperature and the density, the pressure condition also increases with the depth in the interior of the earth. It is due to the overlying layer. Means you can see that there are mainly three layers, and all the three layers is being again divided into two portions. Like the crust is divided into this continental and the oceanic, then the mantle is being divided into upper, transitional, lower, then we have the outer and the core, then the core is divided into outer and the inner core. So each of the layer has got some pressure, and it is exerting the pressure on the consecutive layers, and as a result of that, the central portion of the earth in this where the density is of the maximum, it is estimated the pressure at the center is about 3500 kilobar. So you can understand how much the pressure is present at the central or the core portion of the earth. The last factor is the vibration of the seismic wave. The earthquake waves are also known as the seismic waves. They are important source of information about the interior of the earth. Mohorovic was an Yugoslavian seismologist who used the earthquake waves for the first time in 1909 to know about the interior of the earth. So based on the vibration of the seismic waves, there are mainly three types of the waves: the P waves or the primary waves, then we have the S waves or the secondary waves, and the last one that we have is the L waves or the long waves. So the first one is the P wave or the primary wave. So in this diagram you can see that the primary wave is being marked with the red mark. You can see in the index also the primary wave is marked with this red arrow. You can see that it is originating from here and it is passing through all the layers. So the primary waves or the P waves or the primary waves are actually the longitudinal waves. The average velocity of this wave is 8 km per second, which is higher than any other waves, and these waves can pass through the solid, liquid and gaseous state. So in the picture also you have seen that this wave is actually passing through all the layers. This layers means all of these layers means it has passing through the solid crust, then this liquid and the gaseous inner layer of the earth. So the next is the S waves or the secondary waves. The S waves or the secondary waves travels like the sound waves, and that is why they are also known as the traverse or distortional waves. The average velocity is about 4 km per second, and they can only travel to the solid portions or solid state of the earth. So in the picture also you can see that the S wave is marked by this blue arrow, and you can see that it is not passing or it is not traversing like the P waves. It is only going through, or it is only reaching the smaller section or smaller portion of the interior of the earth, which is solid in nature. The last one is the L waves or the long waves. It is also known as the surface waves. They travel along the surface of the earth. The average velocity is about 3 km per second. So in this picture you can see that the surface waves or the L waves is marked by this yellow carved line. So you can see it is only passing through the surface of the earth, it is not going into the interior portion of the earth. That is why it is being known as the that is why the L waves or the long waves are also known as the surface waves, because it is only present or only pass through the surface. Okay. So this study of the seismic waves reveals in details of the condition of the earth's interior. With this information, the seismologists and the geologists have tried to frame the layers of the interior of the earth, which with three main divisions, that is the crust, mantle and the core. Now let us see in details about the three layers of the earth. So the earth's crust, it is the outermost layer of the earth. It is very thin compared to the other layer of the earth, and the average thickness of this layer is about 33 km. The earth crust is thicker below the mountains. The earth crust is rigid, and hence both the P and S types of seismic waves can pass through this crust portion of the earth. The earth's crust are two types, basically the continental crust and the oceanic crust. The Earth crust is thicker below the mountain and thinner below the ocean. Mountain means the continental crust. It is thicker below the continental crust, where it is thinner below the oceanic crust. The earth crust is distinguished from the mantle by an abrupt change of velocity. This change of the velocity occurs because of the change in the rigidity of the rocks from the crust to the mantle. Means you can see in the picture that is the distinct division is being there, that the blue portion is actually the crustal portion, and you can see that the dark brown portion, it is actually the mantle portion. So the velocity abruptly changed from this blue portion to this brown portion because of the change in the rigidity of the rocks from the crust or to the mantle. Means because of the change of the nature and the structure nature of the rocks between this crust and the mantle. Okay, the P waves travels at the velocity of about 6 to 7 km per second at the surface of the earth, but increases to about 7 km per second at the base of the crust. Means this portion over here, the change of the speed is about 6 to 7 km per second, and as we reach the base or the end portion of the crust, after which the mantle start, over there the P wave travels at the rate of 8 km per second. Okay, the sudden change occurs in the velocity between the crust and the mantle at the Mohorovicic discontinuity. The Mohorovicic discontinuity is the divisions between the crust and the mantle, and this abrupt change or the sudden change of the velocity occurs in this Mohorovicic discontinuity. This discontinuity was first observed by Mohorovicic and Yugoslavian seismologist, and so the name is given the Mohorovicic discontinuity. He recognized this discontinuity in the year 1909, and after this, after his thorough study of the earthquake waves of Kulpa Valley in Croatia. Okay. The next layer is the Earth's mantle below the oceanic crust. In the picture you can see that blue portion is the oceanic crust, and then the next to the oceanic crust is the mantle, which has been divided into two portions, that upper mantle and the lower mantle. Okay. The mantle is a thick layer that lies below the Mohorovicic discontinuity, that is the surface of separation between the crust and the mantle. The mantle is the layer lying in between the crust and the core. It is a rocky layer of about 2,900 km thick. It consists of about 84% of the Earth's volume. It is a silicate rocky shell having a density of about 3.3 to 5.7 gram per cubic centimeter. The mantle consists of the rigid and dense rock that can withstand sudden shocks of the seismic wave. That is the the rocks behave like a elastic, solid elastic in the mantle. The temperature ranges between 500 kilometer to 900 degrees. 500 degrees Celsius to 900 degrees Celsius in the upper mantle portion, and in the lower mantle the temperature is more than 4000 degrees Celsius. The velocity of the P waves reduce abruptly and the S waves can terminate. This is because there lies a plane of discontinuity or a discontinuous surface in between the mantle and the core, which is known as the Gutenberg discontinuity. It is named after G. Gutenberg, a German seismologist who discovered and recognized this this discontinuous surface in the year 1954. Gutenberg discontinuity is marked by a sudden increase in the density from 5.5 in the mantle to about 10. Means 5.5 in the mantle means this portion that has the density of 5.5, but just below this Gutenberg discontinuity the density is about 10.0. In this zone the velocity of the P waves reduces from 13.8 km per second to 8.0 km per second. The speed of the seismic wave is so high at the depth of 2,900 km that only the very rigid and the dense rock can withstand such tremendous shock. Okay. So depending on the behavior of the seismic wave, the mantle is being divided into two portions, that is the upper mantle and the lower mantle. The upper mantle lies in the upper part and extends from the Earth's crust to the depth of about say 6,500 kilometer. It is the upper portion. Its upper part is up to the depth is about 300 to 400 kilometer, and this portion is known as the asthenosphere. In this asthenosphere, the rocks behave like a plastic solid on one hand and an elastic solid on the other. In this region, the velocity of the seismic wave is low, so this zone is also known as the low velocity zone. So below this asthenosphere, there is a layer we call lies the transitional zone, which is about in between 400 to 670 kilometer. It separates the mantle from upper mantle from the lower mantle. So this is all about the mantle of the earth. Now we are going to see about the earth's core. So the core of the earth lies at the central portion. It is spherical in the shape. It has been calculated that the earth's core has a radius of about 3,470 kilometer. It should be noted that the radius of the core is little more than the half of the earth's total radius of about 6,378 kilometer. The core of the earth is mainly being divided into two portions, that is outer core and the inner core. The liquid outer core is the layer beneath the mantle. It is made up of the liquid iron and the nickel. Ace wave cannot pass through this layer because it is liquid in the nature. So complex convection current give rise to a dynamo effect, which is responsible for the Earth's magnetic field. Next is the inner core is there. The inner core is a solid layer. It is made up of the iron and the nickel. Iron and nickel. It is solid because of the high pressure that is present all around. The temperature of this core is about 5,000 degrees Celsius to about 6,000 degrees Celsius. So this is all about the structure of the earth, that is the crust, mantle and the core. Next we are going to see about the asthenosphere, which is a part of the mantle itself. So asthenosphere means the word asthenos. Sphere is being taken from a Greek word asthens, meaning weak, and it is highly viscous in nature, but mechanically it is a weak and ductile and deforming region of the upper mantle of the earth. The asthenosphere is the portion of the upper mantle, and it lies just below the lithosphere. Lithosphere is actually the crustal portion. This region is it is a region of the isostatic adjustment. On the asthenosphere, actually all the plates move. Okay. Though means in spite of its high temperature, the pressure maintain its plastic nature. Though this layer has got a high temperature, but because of the pressure, means the pressure actually maintains the plasticity or the elasticity nature of this layer. It has a low density, that is why it is also being known as the low density region. In this layer, the velocity of the seismic wave is also very low, hence this zone is also known as the low velocity zone. The seismic waves are relatively slow through the asthenosphere compared to the overlying layer. Professor E. Swiss, the famous Austrian geologist, professed his model about the interior of the earth. He said that there are three concentric layers is there, that is the Sial, Sima and. So let us see the first layer, that is the Sial. It is the outermost layer. It is mainly composed of the silicon and the aluminium, and it is contents are made up of the continents are made up of the Sial, and the average density is about 2.75 2.90, it extends up to a depth of about 100 kilometer. The next layer is the cyma. It is the second layer next to the sial layer. It is mainly made up of the silica and magnesium, and it is known as the cyma. It is the average density of this layer is about 2.90 to 4.75. The silica extends up to a depth of about 2,900 kilometer. And the last layer is mainly composed, the last layer next to cyma is mainly composed of the nickel and the ferrous. The average density of this layer is about 11 to 12. It extends from the depth to 2,900 kilometer to about 6,371 kilometer. That is the extreme inner portion of the earth. So this layer is mainly liquid, and means it is mainly liquid and the solid in nature because of the overlying pressure. The solid part is actually the inner portion, and the liquid part is actually the outer core portion. The cyma layer is elastic or plastic in nature. Here and the first one is the sial portion. It is mainly solid and partly molten. Mainly solid means this outer portion, crust portion, is mainly solid in nature, whereas if we go down a little bit, then we have the partly molten state. So this is all about the interior of the earth. So if you have any problem, please mention in the comment section. So thank you everybody.